when you are ready to demonstrate IUD insertion to the students, it is important to have all your instruments available and ready, and that will include uterine sound. This is a single tooth tenaculum to fix to the anterior lip of the cervix. This is the IUD itself, and then scissors to cut the strings once the IUD is in place. And just realize that the technique that is used for IUD insertion varies depending on the IUD that you have chosen for that patient. So for all intents and purposes, we are going to be demonstrating insertion of a Mirena IUD here. And the Mirena IUD looks like this. Initially in the cardboard box, it comes looking like this, where the IUD is sticking out of the applicator. And what you need to do when you take it out of its box is avoid touching the IUD from this side because it is all sterile, and handling it from the handle perspective only. So I lay it down usually in the box when it comes, and these strings, you want to be able to pull them, keeping the IUD flat like this, and you pull the IUD into the IUD applicator with knowing that the arms are laid flat. And so this way the slider has gone all the way to the top of the barrel here. You notice this marker here. This marker is very important to note because when this slider comes part way down to this marker level here, then you will see that the arms are released, okay? And so that is your cue to do the rest of the procedure. So I'll show you that in just a second. I just want you to recognize that there's a marking here. And once the IUD arms have been opened up, then you want to snuggle the IUD all the way to the uterine fundus, and then in order to release the IUD, you will pull this slider all the way back like this. See, and then the IUD is left hanging inside the uterine cavity. Okay, so let's get started here. And what I'm going to do is use my assistant here to help me out in just supporting the pelvic model, just because it's not a live human, obviously. So once the speculum is in place and you're able to visualize the external lawns of the cervix, you want to use the single tooth tenaculum to apply it through the vaginal canal onto the anterior lip of the cervix, and we fix it like this to the anterior lip of the cervix, and that way it straightens out anteverted and retroverted uteruses into a kind of a straight plane. And I will now sound the uterine cavity. So we use this sound in your dominant hand. You're using your non-dominant hand to support the tenaculum, and I'm going to insert the uterine sound directly into the uterine cavity to measure the uterine length. And I will push it until I feel some resistance, and then I'm going to just lift this pelvic model up for just a second, just so you can see that there is a marking here, and that's 7 centimeters. That's where the uterus is being sounded to. So I will make note of the marking at the external lawns, exactly how many centimeters long the uterus is. And having done that, I remove the sound, and now I'm going to put this green marker exactly where the 7 centimeter mark is. So now I'm ready to insert this IUD. It is loaded into the applicator, and my marker is at the correct uterine length, and I'm ready to put it into the uterine cavity. So I'm going to have my helper pull on the tenaculum with her other hand, and I'm going to insert this IUD. So notice how I hold it like this at the back, and I don't touch this apparatus, and I certainly don't touch up there because that's all sterile. I'm going to introduce it directly into the uterine cavity like this, and as we do this, we're going to stop inserting it when it is about 1 centimeter or so from this green marker. When the external os is 1 centimeter away from this green marker, then I stop. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently pull this slider back to that marking that was on this shaft. And see, now the arms of the IUD are open. And now I'm going to take this applicator, and we're going to push it gently all the way so that the marker sits at the external os. And now we know that the arms are open, and now they've been snuggled up to the top of the uterine fundus like this. So I'll just gently have my assistant hold it with her thumb, just because the IUD tends to slip out. So please hold that there with your thumb. And I'm going to complete the IUD insertion now. So I'll hold it with my dominant hand on the shaft like this. I'm going to pull the slider down from the marking all the way down to its base. Just release just a little bit, so that will allow the applicator to slide back. See how it slid back like this, and now it's released the IUD. Now we're ready to remove the applicator from the vagina like this, leaving the IUD in place. So gently, if you would lift your thumb to show this, the audience here that the IUD is in place, and again, please put your thumb right there so you hold it in place. So usually it will have stayed at the uterine fundus, and what I will do is I will take scissors, I will pass them into the vagina, and we're going to trim the strings about 2 centimeters from the external os of the cervix like this, and they will be left hanging at the external os so that the patient can feel for the strings and know that the IUD is in place. And having done that, now I'm going to remove the single tooth tenaculum from the vagina, from the cervix, and because this is a plastic model, it does give me a little bit of difficulty trying to get this off. And just be careful you don't tear the cervix when you're removing the tenaculum, and I will pull it out of the vagina, and now the IUD is in place. Thank you very much.